Greetings, friend. My name is David McLeod, and I am your Life Mastery Coach and a Senior Partner at the Wellness Universe. I'm also the author of the book, A Life to Die For, and one of the co-authors of the best-selling series, The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. Welcome to episode 26 of Life Mastery Soul Memos, my monthly series aimed at helping you to expand and magnify your life, one simple idea at a time. Today's topic is the path of humility. A question I've heard from time to time in different contexts is, would you rather be right or happy? Maybe you've been faced with this question yourself from time to time. It's a pretty good question for sure, and I notice that most often my reflex response is, well, I'd rather be happy, of course. But as I've taken a deeper look at this question, I notice that there are indeed times when the desire to be right has strongly overshadowed my desire to be happy. As a simple example, I've been noticing a strong self-righteous energy showing up recently while reading a book. It may sound silly, I know, but I'm just sharing what's been happening for me. This particular book is a wonderful compilation of stories from multiple authors. They're all great stories, full of depth and wisdom and personal vulnerability. Even so, as I read, I notice myself getting irritated by poor writing styles, weak grammatical structures, and a few other literary issues. Effectively, what's happening for me is that I'm letting my negative judgments about someone's writing skills keep me from appreciating the message that the author is trying to convey. As I read, I seem to be keeping a mental scorecard of how something is written. Mismatched parallelism here, incomplete sentence there, too many adverbs over here, improper verb tenses over here. It's really quite amazing, actually, how detailed my ego mind can become when it gets into the energy of wanting to be right. But I've also noticed that my ego desire to be right seems to translate into making someone else wrong. Now, just for the record, the entire experience I'm talking about here has all been happening only in my mind. I haven't shared this perspective with anyone, but I'm sharing it with you now so that I can make my main point, which I'll get to in a bit. As I look a little deeper into what is obviously a shadow behavior for me, what I realize is that as a child, I was often treated by my parents, mostly my mom, in a dismissive manner. It wasn't unusual for my ideas to be declared ridiculous or stupid, and I was frequently asked, how could you possibly think that? Or where did you get such a crazy idea? For many people who are treated this way, a common and understandable compensatory behavior is to begin shutting down. They tend to avoid speaking out altogether and eventually fade into the background. Not so for me. My response was to become adept at finding flaws in other people's ideas and to return the ridicule in a manner even more forceful than I had received it. I guess I figured the best defense was a good offense. I didn't engage in this particular behavior a lot because I also learned to translate my thoughts into facial expressions that sent almost the same amount of disapproval. Even though I have since done a lot of personal growth work and I've healed the underlying wounds of most of my shadows, this is one phenomenon that still shows up in my mind today. And who knows, maybe my facial expressions still give me away from time to time. I've learned not to voice my opinion when these kinds of messages show up in my mind, but the thoughts still crop up occasionally. And when they do, they're almost always accompanied by a shadow energy that says, I'm right and you're wrong. Now this brings me to the main point of my presentation today, which starts with a simple statement. There's nothing wrong with being right. And of course, there's nothing wrong with knowing you are right in a particular situation. I'm sure most people would agree with that. However, there are many different ways of conveying a perspective or an opinion. You can come at it from a place of pride, arrogance, or righteousness if you want to. And maybe in some very rare cases, that may even be necessary. But generally speaking, people will be less receptive to your perspective if you bring this kind of energy. Nobody likes to be bludgeoned by someone else's opinion. There's a saying that you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Now, I don't think most people want to catch flies at all, but you get the point, I'm sure. The idea is that you can use a gentle, humble approach to share your perspective and in doing so, encourage a dialogue about the subject at hand. If you allow yourself to take the path of humility and open yourself to this kind of dialogue, you are much more likely to be heard. And interestingly, your openness may lead you to discover that maybe you weren't as right as you thought you were in the first place. This may be a minor setback for your ego mind, but it will be a huge victory for your relationship with the person you're speaking to. Being humble does not mean that you minimize or denigrate yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to give up your power. You may indeed relinquish the ego mind force that triggers self-righteousness, but by staying grounded and humble, you can actually stay connected to the truth of who you really are. And this is the ultimate seat of your power. In other words, if you commit yourself to a path of humility, you can remain aligned to who you are and why you are here. What more could anyone really ask? I'd like to remind you about my year-long program on the Wellness Universe Lounge called Grateful at Last, a guided tour to life's greatest gift. Lessons are offered on the third Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I invite you to come join me as I guide you on a journey through 12 critical waypoints that will help you understand, develop, and practice the skills that will help you to create and live the life of your deepest heart's desire. You can find out more details and register on the Wellness Universe Lounge website at https://bit.ly/grateful-at-last. Also, if you are looking for articles, videos, and other powerful content that can help you to improve your life, please check out my website at yourlifemasterycoach.com. Grab a copy of one of my free ebooks right on the front page and sign up for a free account so you can get access to everything else that I offer there. Well, that's all I have for today, my friend. In every situation you encounter, you can choose to be right and righteous, or you can soothe your ego mind, reconnect to your soul, and allow yourself to be guided from that place of humble acceptance of what is. Try it out for yourself. I think you'll find the path of humility will serve you in amazing ways. Until we meet again, I wish you love, light, and blessings on your journey. I'll see you next time on Life Mastery Soul Memos. Bye-bye.